Hello, everyone. Welcome to Raiders of the Lost Files. My name is Danica Olson. I am a senior business process consultant with Cities Digital, and I'll be walking you through our webinar today. We are going to go through file and folder locations, repository organization, searching and finding lost files, records management searching, as well as a demo to review everything that we discussed today. Some quick housekeeping items. All participants are muted. If you do have a question at any time, please use the question box. We have staff monitoring and also have some time at the end to go over any questions. The webinar will be recorded and available in a few business days. All right. The biggest problem most of our users face before and sometimes after implementing a document management system is the fact that there are so many locations that users squirrel their information away. Users will frequently have access to SharePoint or OneDrive, network drives, desktop, Outlook, HR systems, accounting systems, paper files, microfilm, etc., etc. When you are a document or records manager, you're faced with the incredible challenge of hunting, finding, and reproducing lost records. It can be a very tough job. The job difficulty only gets increased when you factor in the amount of hiding places that these important documents could be. Just imagine if your content was all located in a single location. You could utilize Laserfiche full text searching, structured metadata, and intelligent search options to find everything across your organization. Some of you might even be close, or even at this point. Congratulations, you've already completed your quest. However, for many, this is just the beginning. Let's dig into this topic. How do we go about the process of starting organization? First, we need to get our arms around what we have. We need a detailed inventory of documents and records under our supervision as an organization. What are our retention requirements, and do we actually even need to keep any of it? Will our system include emails? Are users going to manually add these to our system, or will we set up email boxes to automatically archive them to our system so we can search for all of the emails in the future? Which departments will have time to work with us to provide us information about their information? We're wanting to know what needs to be captured and how do the users locate it when they're searching. We might have to challenge and battle with other departments regarding who has responsibility and ownership over the organization's data. For example, who has responsibility for retention management over data on the network drive? Is it IT or is it the records manager? What data should we scan? Will we even bother scanning some content if the retention time is within X many years? Or should we just store it away for a few more years and then shred it? Searching in Laserfiche has become the knight in shining armor for many. During moments of public records request, Freedom of Information Act, or litigation, nobody can beat a full text search engine for all of your old, faded files from the last couple decades. So long as OCR has been run on your repository files, even those old PDFs you scanned 20 years ago, you'll find them. But what about if the search phrases aren't in the document or located in text on the document somehow? Of course, we always have structured metadata to fall back on. However, this is only as good as your planning. We want to leave our users a trail to the documents they seek through a well-planned index fields. Allow me to introduce Alexander von Humboldt. This is a man who really needed an organization system. From 1799 to 1804, Alexander von Humboldt's exploration of South America led him to discover over 3,600 species. He also collected over 60,000 plant specimens throughout his journey. He's widely considered to be the father of ecology and environmentalism. Today, there are more species named after Humboldt than after any other human being. Organizing your Laserfiche system is a lot like thinking of the days of Alexander von Humboldt. You have to imagine that you are the explorer, journeying from department to department. You might encounter tribes and different leaders with all their own customs and ways. It's your job to meet with them, and you might need a translator or two, a subject matter expert, to help you along the way. After meeting with them, you'll be able to take specimens of their many types of forms, documents, records, and content and apply your own taxonomy, your own organization to Laserfiche. This will pave the way for future records managers and users at your organization. Start by creating an index from the very top and then keep some key points in mind. How would the user try to find this file? If you don't keep this in mind, an untrained user could be heard saying, "I can't find anything in here." Can I simplify the interface by making drop-down lists, multi-value fields, groupings of fields, etc.? We don't want users overwhelmed with a list of metadata fields that's a mile long and then they get lost. We also don't want a folder tree that's 100 folders deep. What kind of data do we actually need? And what kind of data must we have? Will this metadata be worth anything in a few years? How much of the metadata can we automate? Can it be set up to auto-populate? Can the naming conventions be enforced so everything is uniform? And finally, how much nesting should we do inside folders? Or would this work better by organizing by record type? You can see the differences here from a simple standard document tree shown by the address files examples on the left. If you look at the list in the middle, this folder tree is separating each and every document type into its own records folder. The last example shows document folders broken out into folders that would likely house many documents or a variety of record types, which is now available in Laserfiche. What's the right way to do this? It all depends on your needs. Just keep in mind, you may be passing this on to generations of future users. It's a lot of responsibility. How will they look upon your taxonomy decisions in 2050? Let's look at a couple HR template indexing examples. These two examples show the information that might be manually entered or possibly automatically created by importing from Laserfiche forms, an HR system, or a database. Differences from one template to the next are drop-down lists, required fields, and structured date fields, which are important to keep your dates consistent. Other things that we could have done here would be masking or making the fields private and secure based on rights and access. Fields could have been multi-value fields with multiple options. The fields could be grouped together. Is there anything else that you could think of to make this better? The less fields a user has to fill out, the better, and more likely that they are to do it. All right, now we are going to run through a quick demonstration of searching and organizing data to prevent files from ever being lost. In here, I'm using the Laserfiche cloud system. I went ahead and created two different folder structures. This first one is going to show all of this data, non-standard naming conventions, and there's no metadata over here. So we don't know what we're looking at and we don't know what we're looking for. We preview this file, they're just images, so there's no OCR text. When we go over to our kingdoms folder, keeping on theme with our plants and Humboldt's discoveries, we're organized first based off a kingdom and then by families. As we come in here, the nightshade family, we've got documents specific to the nightshades, as well as specific to stone crops. Even further, if we click on one of these documents and preview the fields, we can see a template and metadata was assigned. Now I'm going to go over in Cloud, the advanced search is named search filters, which I've already got open up here. By default, you have these options. So I'm just gonna, as a user, I wanna look at Humboldt's files. We'll just call it Humboldt. If we do a search, nothing shows up. Moving back over here. The reason is because there is no metadata and there is no OCR text. Back over on our search results, if we want to find something using our structured folders, we can use this template dropdown. So I'm going to filter by the Plant Kingdoms template, and then even a little bit further, we'll filter by just stone crops. If we do a search of that, we'll see these two documents over here. We've got the agave and the Dudleya. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Another option that you can do is which I already have shown here, is the folder path. So if you still don't know where these folders are or your users don't know, they can use the column picker and add in that folder path. This will help you to easily see where these documents live. We click on it again over here. We've got the fields. We can see all of our metadata present. The searching just became so much easier and everything is findable. Going back to the folder view, I want to show you how we can do searching based on retention. As you see here, this eggplant document has this crossed out symbol. There is no more document because it was destroyed based on our retention schedules. But based on the retention schedule that was applied, we are keeping that metadata. So if we wanted to find documents that we were saving the metadata on, but that have been destroyed, coming over here, we can select Add a Filter, where I will remove these three options. And then we're going to search by records management disposition only. I want files that are disposition type destruction. And even further for this webinar, I'm going to go ahead and only search for documents that have the Humboldt retention applied. If we do a quick search, which Laserfiche is kind and opens up if you only have one search result, so I'll move back over here, we can see where this file lives and the metadata that still exists. So now, how can we fix Alexander's Discoveries folder? One of the first steps would be to apply a template and metadata. I've already got metadata open over here, and I've created a Humboldt template. So now we're going to go ahead and add some fields that are relevant that would help with searching and finding these documents. We'll insert a field over here. First off, let's start with the location of the documents. We know that all of Humboldt's documents were either in Paris or Berlin. Maybe we know the co-author of some of his work. We might also know the volume number of where his information is stored. We'll add the country to further filter where his works are focused on, as well as the year field to further limit what shows up. Finally, especially because we don't have OCR text, I like to add a keywords template. This will allow you to put in those keywords like Alexander or Humboldt or anything else that is directly related. So now we'll go ahead and save this template and navigate back to our repository. Do a little scroll down, go into the Alexander's Discovery folder. Let's just open this first one. And we can see over here, let's apply that Humboldt template. Now, we'll go ahead and fill out this metadata. We don't know that this one has a co-author. I'm just going to pick a volume number. as well as a country. This is not correct at all, but for example purposes. And some keywords, we'll do Alexander, Humboldt, plant, and diagram. Once we hit save, we can now go back to our search results. I'm going to reset this back to the default search. If we type in Humboldt, and again, nice little feature sometimes, we now see this document over here, which is not showing our fields all the way. Well, that's a fun little quirk. Hang on. I'm not sure why it's not showing fields, but we'll go ahead and just navigate down there so I can show you. All right, sorry about that, but we have our template here. We now have the Paris Natural History Museum, the volume number, and because I put Humboldt in the keywords, we are able to see and search for this document. We would then apply this template to all of these other fields, and they would all become searchable. Would also recommend adding in some standardized naming conventions and some folder structures if applicable. Let's switch back now that our demo is done. I realized that that was not super long and there was a little bit of an issue there with our template showing up because we just created it. But if anyone has any questions, please utilize that question box over on the GoToWebinar screen. And I'm not seeing any come in. As always, please visit our website or our YouTube channel for any previously recorded webinars or any resources and updates from CDI. Oh, it looks like a question may have come in. The question is, would this be the same if it was in the application versus the cloud version? And yes, it would. One of the only differences is that within the on-prem application, you would need to go into the Laserfiche administration console to create those templates and metadata. Within cloud, it's within the same application. And forgive me, it's showing these really tiny, so I'm trying to see more questions. There we go. The next question is, what is nesting in a folder? So nesting in a folder is kind of how I explained, and let me move my screen back over, is how we've got the kingdoms. And this, we only have the one kingdom example here, but nesting would be, we've got all of our kingdoms here. The next one would be coming down. So as you can see up here at the top, we're navigating down each folder. And let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to read these questions. A copy of these slides. So this was recorded and it will be available on our YouTube channel within a few business days. All right, I think we got all our questions that time. Here's my contact information, as well as consulting, sales, and support at Cities Digital. Thank you for joining Cities Digital's Raiders of the Lost Files webinar.